Hello and welcome all, it's David, aka Fairmere4731, bringing you a match that this is actually one of the first games I saved a long time ago and thought about doing a video on YouTube, and I just had other battles that got put in before it, and heck, now I was looking back at old replays and I saw this one, and this is one where I was playing up against two opponents and I joined a game. It's an early period game, so it's going to be with plug bayonets and so on and so forth and limited units. And my teammate is none other than General CPU. That's right, the AI himself. We couldn't get a person to join, so I just added AI, and this is, like I said, this is just one way I ended up learning to play faster and a little bit better, is making games a little more challenging. And by no means was I any good at this point, and you can see my troop allocation here, but yeah, at this point this is one of my early, very first multiplayer games. I think it was like, heck, maybe my 10th or around that ballpark multiplayer matchups. And this was, like I said, about right around a year ago. And in it, both the opponents are going to be British, and I brought a native faction as AI, and I do this knowing that the AI is going to go all over the place, and usually they end up going into melee, so I figured I'd bring a good melee nation for early period, and that's why I chose the Cherokee Nations. And you can see here I place all my lights in the woodland, which really isn't a good idea because the trees will block shots and those are your better shooters, but yet I do it and open up and we get into the first skirmish action of the battle. And I again am just trying to use the native AI as screening force for my units, so I'll constantly be shifting and moving and adapting to how the AI is going. And you can see here they're going to be getting in a nice little charge on the British, forcing him into square and allowing me to shoot him up in square. So that's kind of how the battle starts, and then I am going to have my lines come up and take over from my lights, where I shift my lights over. I did notice that my lights weren't doing as much damage, so you can see here in the center of the battle, the native Cav is making some good charges into the British as he was pushing forward, and then this is going to again allow me to push up. I think I brought Gorkas, and I think I throw them into that melee mess too, and then I'm going to bring a line over to shoot it up. And so yeah, again, like I said, just using these definitely easy ability to shoot them up, because like I said, the AI is just going into melee madness, if you will. And here, over here in the tree line that we initially started the battle, you can see my lines are working on these units still in the trees, just whittling them down. I've got a unit nicely flanking, and the other player is making his way over, and the AI, I think, sent some units to the right flank, so he's also going to be keeping a good portion of his army to fight that native contingent on that side. You can see here on the left flank, I've got a large force that I'm going up against. I'm holding it back with one line while I wait for the AI I thought was going there, and then they kind of don't. And yeah, but the British player is kind of nicely lined up to where I can just shoot all into the flank, and he has all these other units just kind of stacked up here that the native Cav is going after. Yeah, it's kind of a total mess. But yeah, just like I said, this battle was pretty fun because it was pretty intense. And you can see all the all the different hot spots all over the all over the battlefield. I mean, there was all kinds of action taking place, and yeah. So, like I said, while the natives were going into melee, I was trying to go in and give a little help to them as to kind of weed them down. And when you go into melee, it's better to put the plug bayonet in. The problem with the plug bayonet is you can't shoot again. You can see the other British player was starting to try to bring a flanking force, but the trees are going to provide me with some shielding, and you can see there he threw some cav in the mix here on my flank, which I'm going to form square and hold him back on that. And that's going to kind of slow him down from joining up to his teammate, while we quickly whittle his teammate down. He is trying to press over, but like I said, I'm just using a few units to kind of shield him and keep him back a little bit. And yeah, so here's the big mess on the on that center of the where all the houses are and stuff. But yeah, we're slowly whittling him away. You can see all the routing units in the center, but over here on the left, he's got all those units that I'm able to stack up with that one line. I got a light unit on the top of the hill and some native archers that are shooting down into the whole mess, and I'm targeting the units in the back. And yeah, it's pretty nice. Then that line unit's going to hold them down just enough time to get my cav in there. And you can see up here on the top of the hill my light shooting down into him, making some good use of my shots. He's trying to push some of his units out because he does see my cav, but it's a little bit too late, and I'm going to be able to really mop up a lot of those units that were starting to waver. And it starts kind of a chain reaction. You can see all of them wavering out. He's only got 3 of the, I think it was like 5 or 6 or maybe heck, it might have been 8 lines there. But yeah, over here on the other side, as we're mopped up the other player, the native player AI pretty much mopped him up and took care of business. So yeah, a lot of fun. Please like and subscribe.